Hi, everybody. I'm Billy Bourbon. Welcome to Livin the Dream. Now, this show's about people who keep playing, keep on keeping on. You know, anybody can form a band when they're 19. That's easy. It's after you get over 40 that it gets to be. Do I really want to do this in the rain and the cold and drive at 2 hours to play? You know, that's what Livin the Dream's about. But it's also about that feeling when, and I know, Randy, you felt it. Everybody who's ever played has felt it. That feeling when you could hit the guitar and it would be right. You know, when everything's working, the band is hitting on all cylinders. That transcendent. When the crowd is with you, and that too is living the dream. So, welcome to my guest, Mr. Randy Meadows.
Hello, Billy.
You can now. Everybody's going to hear that Randy has a southern accent, and in fact,
Is that prominent?
it got you a good gig doing. You were the narrator for Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, there in Houston, weren't you?
Well, yeah, I did. I was the band leader role, which I kind of narrated the first, years to up to date to when the play began. So that was an interesting thing, and a lot of dialogue, and I was nervous. But they insisted I was the guy for the job because of my accent.
You are the guy for the job for your accent. I tell you what.
I know.
I tell you, people up here, up northerners might think it's fake, but no, that's just the way he talks all the time.
Yeah, it is. I would like to take much proper terms on my vocal, but it comes out Texas.
Yeah, even if he does an English accent with a Texas accent,
Yeah.
So anyway, you've been hunkered down here like the rest of us down there in Houston, huh?
Yes, I think March 12th was my last gig, and there's no actual end in sight. I mean, there will be gigs that will come back fairly immediately, but I think there's going to be about 50% of them is going to be down the road before they even get back
Oh,
going.
I
Some
have no doubt that there's some. I know I owned a bar, and I know how slim the margins are, and there's some of those people are not.
exactly. So
Some people are not going to make it back.
exactly. So I'm doing okay. As musicians, I think we got an edge in some regards because we're used to kind of just hanging out and playing our guitar and watching TV, then muting it and playing some more guitar, then eating.
Well,
I mean, it's
yeah.
kind of the
Now,
story of our life. Then, at 8 o'clock we leave to go to the gig, but now
like
we're doing no
Like
gig.
Randy, like I was when I was living down there doing it full time, and people would ask us all the time, how do you be a full time musician? You don't make that much money, and it's kind of like what Randy's saying. You don't do anything else. You sit around and write songs, and you're kind of hunkered down all the time.
Exactly. So, I am missing the playing. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
being
and
around the
it kind of
guys is
reminds me
great.
of going through hurricanes. You and I have been through
Yeah,
you
I've been
more than
those.
me, but I went through three, and
Yes.
you get to see the humanity,
You
usually
do.
in a good way though. I mean,
Exactly.
I thought that
Yes.
Harvey brought people together more than anything I'd ever seen
Oh
down
my
there.
goodness, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it now in this situation. I'm seeing the calmness around. I'm maybe just in my area of Houston or whatever, but I'm seeing people are being extra polite. I think this, sometimes brings out a different, edge on people. It softens them, and there's a more compassion. A lot of people are frightened. Probably not so much now, but when it first came about, when the first,
Yeah, I got in trouble.
everybody had this look in their eye like they didn't know what to expect. Now we kind of see, there may be a glimmer of hope closer than we thought, but there's still uncertainty, and
Yeah,
but people are being.
I got in trouble on the internet with some friends in Texas because when it first came out and they were hyping it so much, it seemed like they were just hyping it just like they do the weather, and I just made kind of a glib comment. I wasn't making like a policy statement because I don't really get into politics on the internet. It's not very fruitful.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
uh, I got raked over the coals, because, and I came to realize it's because people were really scared.
Well, sure,
They
they were
were.
frightened.
I didn't realize the level of fear, and so there was no point in going back and apologizing to anybody. But
Yes, exactly.
it
Well,
did.
everybody, this has not been nothing that we've dealt in our lifetime. We've read books about it. I think Dean Koontz had a book that almost paralleled this event. And then we've seen movies, obviously, and all that. But to actually live it, this is new to us. Sure, we've been, hunkered down for a hurricane and certain situations, but this is global, and it's sometimes it's beyond our mental capacity to really analyze this. It's like, whoa, this is really happening.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it is kind of like a.
we're kind of learning as we go.
Yeah, and I think we need to give people the benefit of the doubt all the way,
Yes,
in every regard. But anyway,
Yeah.
enough of that.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed that has come along. I mean, you and I have been doing. You remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I did my first little experiment, and you were my guest then too. You're one of my test
Was that
subjects.
the one at the pub?
No, well, that one. But remember, you came over to my house too, over
Oh,
there
that's
in
right.
Deer
That's
Park,
right. That's right.
and we had wires running everywhere. We got less wires nowadays,
But,
but
yeah, everything's wireless.
but
I even got, look, Billy, I got one of them X-Vives wireless guitar cords, wireless
Oh,
things.
yeah?
Those are great. I have so much more access on stage. Why didn't I get that sooner?
yeah, there you go. See, well,
We're a wireless society.
one of the things that's impressed me was you in particular, but also other peers of mine that are getting online and doing live concerts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you did one, and you had 2,000 people. That's
Well,
pretty.
I've done three, and the second one had 4.2 thousand.
4,000. Well, there you go.
4,000.
That's
Yeah.
that's like an audience, Randy.
I know. I hadn't played that many people in a long time, so it's kind of. But I didn't get nervous. You notice that I wasn't nervous. I just acted my normal self. A lot of people say, "Were you nervous?" I go, "Well, no. It's a little odd just singing to a screen on an iPad, but
Other than that, yeah. What I've noticed too is I've done two of them, and we have no gigs, and I notice I'm starting to get that gig anticipation thing that you get for a gig. Now I got this thing Sunday at 4, man. I got something to do,
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm I got a show tomorrow, and I'm thinking about, I've had some requests, and I'm thinking about, well, let's see, how am I going to keep this fresh?
Right.
Because I don't want to play the same songs, but I want to play their favorites, and I want to put in something different and make some different changes. Just we learn as we go, and the people are really enjoying it, especially during the first couple of weeks, because there was so much uncertainty. There was so all of a sudden you're stuck in a house. Well, like I said, musicians, we're not so unreceptive to.
Well,
you're a company. A lot of people, they're not used to this much. So with the uncertainty, when they got to view the show, they forgot probably for an hour about the coronavirus.
And you are a comforting presence too. I mean, you make people feel good, so I think that helps too. And then when you added Bad Bob,
that was pretty good.
That was real good.
So I'm going to do it by myself this week, and I think next week I'm going to add Bad Bob once again.
Yeah, well, he's for people who don't know, Bad Bob's a somewhat famous fiddle player down there in Houston.
Yes,
and the thing you love about Bad Bob that I always loved about Bad Bob is he has not only is he a really, really, really good fiddle player, but he has a personality. He has a look, not a uniform, but a look that he always presents when he's out playing. And
Yeah, he's definitely a character. And
yeah,
very talented man.
yeah, he's also a cartoonist, as I remember.
That's right. He's got a cartoon man. He's done all the graphics for the Randy Meadows show he's done.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I wondered if you had done that, but then I thought, oh, probably
Well,
Bob.
I figured something out because when I first did it, everything was backwards. So Bob actually wrote everything backwards so that when I held it to the screen, they could read it.
That's pretty good.
Problem solved.
That's
then a friend of mine said, I just found there's a place when you're about to go Facebook Live, there's a couple of things you can push, and it will flip the screen where it's like it's supposed to be. So now I had to write everything, instead of backwards, I had to rewrite it forwards again. It's a never-ending process.
I'm telling you.
It's like you said, there need to be 5 or 6 people helping you on these shows,
Yeah.
But, it's fun. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's getting my mind into, like you say, there's something to look forward to. Hey, I got a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because, boy, there's a lot. I mean, musicians are, capable of hunkering down, but this is getting a little ridiculous.
Yes, sir. I'm Billy Bourbon. This is Living the Dream. I'm with my friend Randy Meadows. We'll be right back.